What's up with this seat? I think I'm good. Fantasy Island. Horror mazes. Wow. Let's talk about it. Now, this weekend, we visited Fantasy Island, known as Fear Island, during the Halloween period. Now, this event goes on from the 10th of October to the 1st of November. And I'm going to have to say straight off the bat, I really enjoyed it. It was a really good event, especially the short amount of time that they've had. I think the mazes itself were really, really good. Okay, there are 3 mazes at this Fear Island at Fantasy Island. The first one is the Haunting, which I will go through very shortly. There is also the House of Voodoo. And last but not least, we do have the incredible Disturbium, or as my wife likes to call it, and a lot of people, Disturb, I am. Random, I know. There is also 2 entertainment sections as well during this Halloween period at Fear Island. You have Ghoul Schools, which is more for kids and a bit of entertainment and stuff, which was okay. I'll go more into detail on that. Then they had the incredible Circus of Scream, which I need to go deeper into this because they were amazing. So the prices for these, if you're actually staying in the resort itself of Fantasy Island, it's going to cost you £5 for all 3 mazes. That's right, £5 to go in each one. So it's what, £1.75 per maze. Bargain straight away. That is definitely a tick for me. Now, if you are going randomly on a day and you're not wanting to do any rides at all, it's going to cost you £5 per maze. And the days that they are doing the mazes is Wednesday to Sunday. It starts at 12 o'clock and finishes at 6 p.m. So, okay, the first maze that we hit was the incredible House of Voodoo. The outer structure looked a bit iffy. However, the set pieces and the scenery around it in the beach area were really, really good. You had pumpkins there, you had barrels there, you had like scarecrows, you had skeletons, the whole Shazam for Halloween stuff, and it looked really impressive. However, though, it had nothing really to do with voodoo. It was I don't know, it was like, let's just stick these props here everywhere. It didn't kind of match the theme in from the event itself, the maze itself, to the actual exterior, which was a bit icky about that. So straight away you are greeted, you go into this room. There will be kind of spoilers, but like I always say, I don't think you can spoil horror mazes because they jump out in different areas and stuff. So when you first walk into the actual, you head into like a room and it's really dark and you can't see anything, but they do light their fluorescent paint because everywhere is just literally fluorescent painted everywhere. It looks incredible, to be fair. The UV lighting in it there is absolutely amazing. So straight away you get this woman coming up to you, and what I really like about this one is not a lot of dialogue, which I found out recently that when people have a lot of dialogue, they kind of muffle, so you can't hear them because they're wearing these masks, which is obviously not their fault. However, though, they have these visors, which is a lot better because you can hear it. It's not great, but it's a lot better than the mask itself. You're there and you listen to this woman, and she tells you to go through into this dark room, and you go in there and it's pitch black. And I have to say, straight off the bat, not many actors, but it was really, really good, especially for youngsters, because obviously the age restrictions for this is 12 and above. That's for all the mazes as well. Now, the only thing what sticks in my mind through this entire maze is they have like this corridor bit, but it's kind of leveled up, and you have like the mist where your shoulders are. So you kind of dug down, I would say, and all you see is these like voodoo people coming towards you, and it's effective. It works. It freaks you. It's not scary, it's not jumpy, but it just freaks you out just that tad. And through that entire maze, I would say it's very, very dark. They do have these air cannons as well, which I absolutely love, firing at you. I think they're supposed to be arrows. I think it had a storyline. Not too sure. I have no idea if it had a storyline. If it did, I didn't get it. Now, the maze itself lasted about 4 minutes on this one. It didn't last that long. Okay, so we kind of move away from that. Now we're heading towards Disturbium. Now, Disturbium, or Disturb I Am, whatever you want to call it. Wow. I mean, when you first see it, there's not a lot, and you think, wow, this looks really bad, considering we've just done Voodoo, where you got all these props and stuff outside, and it looks really good. You got the sound effects. You kind of head towards Disturbium, and you think, I think all there was, I don't know, I think there's like a skeleton and I think that's it, in this big like warehouse, and it looked really crap. I'm not gonna lie, it looked awful, and I wasn't really looking forward to it that much. I thought it would be cheese on toast. Have you ever heard the phrase, never judge a book by its cover? This is a perfect example of that. You walk in there and you're kind of in this queue line, and the atmosphere straight away is so eerie. You kind of walk into this room and there's a doctor there. The whole theme is mental like asylum kind of style, and there's this really crazy doctor there, and he's like, he eats people, and it's just, oh, it's absolutely disgusting, to be fair, for a 12-year-old. Although there was a family in front of us who had really young kids who should not have gone in there, and to be fair, they never went in there because they literally walked into the first room and went, nope, and off they went. We said to the woman, scale this bad boy up to 10, mate. I want to get scared out of my mind in this because it looks already incredible. I mean, the set pieces were great, and this was the first room. We haven't even entered into the actual maze yet. Now, with this maze itself, I think it had the least actors into it. It was more on your own kind of feeling. When you're in there, it's pitch black. I mean, it's really, really dark, and you are walking around the strobe lights. There is this one particular bit, and I'm not going to lie to you, even I was freaked out, and the whole room was covered in smoke, and you had like these cages, like in a really like zigzag kind of way, and it was just, I couldn't see anything because you got the strobe light, the whole room's full of smoke, and at the same time you got actors banging on these cages. And I was terrified. I was like, wow, they have gone all out on this. And it was just a shame that I could not take my camera in there to show you guys, because it was amazing. The atmosphere was great. The smell pods were incredible. It was just, I was completely lost in the moment in this entire maze. And I mean, this thing had so many set pieces, so many rooms around it. They had like a hospital bedroom where I think they had like 3 or 4 hospital beds, and they had curtains around them, and you just know straight away someone's going to jump out. And they did, and it did get me, to be fair. But through this entire maze, they had strobe lights, they had smoke, they had scenes where it was completely pitch black. The music was super, super eerie. And then they had the good old-fashioned walk into a room where you had swinging dead bodies everywhere. And I literally shit myself because, believe it or not, one was in the swinging dead bodies. Usually they're wrapped up in, I don't know, tissue and balloons or whatever, so it looks like there is dead bodies. No, there was a guy in one of them bags. Wow, I literally screamed. And to be fair, the actors followed you. I mean, sometimes they have to go to a next bit or whatever, or they need to stay where they need to be in that particular area. Oh no, they followed us all the way around, just making me so uneasy through the entire thing. Although it was funny though, because I did put my kids in front, not because I was like, you know, I wanted them to experience it. It's their first time in a horror maze. Why not? However, though, they decided that they wanted me to go in front, so they were at the back, but they didn't realize the actors were behind them through the entire thing as well, which was quite comical. So overall, I genuinely loved Disturbium. I think it was, if not the best horror maze I've been in, because although it lasted for about 7 or 8 minutes, it was, so it did have a good length time as well. And like I said, because we stopped at the park, that maze only cost me £1.75. Bargain. Okay, we leave Disturbia. Now we are heading towards the Haunting, and I'm already pumped up. I'm like, this is great, this is fantastic. I've just had an incredible experience in that maze. I'm buzzing for the next one. Oh, it went slightly downhill. The Haunting is okay. It was set in the medieval kind of times. The front of the building itself looked incredible. Now this is actually based in the actual pyramid itself, so space is quite limited, I'm assuming it is. And you kind of straight away go downstairs, which is really weird to say. And then you are greeted by this guy. There is a, I don't know, someone's talking about something, and then you have to kind of crawl. And then as you're crawling into this little box area, then you're walking through the maze. The actors were good. They had some good jump scares. I think it was one of the weakest mazes in there. If I was to do anything, I would probably go with this one first and do Disturbium last. You could actually see more in this maze than you could do in the last two. Don't get me wrong, they had fantastic actors in there. They were really good, to be fair. They also The smell pods were great in there. The lighting was, I think it was too much. I think they should have just turned it down just that little bit, because I could see where certain people were jumping out from. But overall, it was a okay maze. I would say this is, if I was to rank it, that is, I would probably say this is the weakest one. I don't want to say the weakest, really, because they were all great. But I just think I would have done this one first, then probably done Voodoo, and then obviously Disturbium last. I love the fact of it has different levels, I suppose. I think that's the only bonus thing I could say. There was a hell of a lot of actors in this one. A lot more than the other two. In fact, I think them two, the last two, what we did, the Voodoo and Disturbium, combine that with the actors in there to this. Well, it felt like that way anyway. There were so many actors. It was incredible. We have done all the mazes now, and where we are heading towards now is Ghoul Skool, a kiddies entertainment. Lasts for about 7 minutes. I thought it lasted for about 15 minutes to half an hour. It's good for little ones. I mean, 3-year-olds and upwards, I would say. The showings are 3 o'clock and 4:30, and this is actually kind of free. Where it's actually situated, it's near the magical mountain, where you have like a projector on there and he does all the whatever. However, though, I do think it was positioned completely wrong, because where it was kind of like a walkway where people needed to get to. As you're watching the show, you had just like a crowd of people just walk straight past it, and it kind of ruined it. It's based on it's based on 2 actors. However, there was a third one. We did see a third one walking around with them. I don't know who that person is, but when we watched it, there was only 2 people. They had like a school teacher, I think it was anyway, a witch or something, and then they had a werewolf, and they were getting the kids up and dancing and making like scary noises and stuff. So interaction all, it was incredible for the youngsters. And considering it was free as well, which was great. I just thought it would last a bit longer, and I think it was situated in the wrong place. But overall, it was okay. It was good. Okay, now we are heading towards Circus of Scream. Wow. This was amazing. It really was. It's a team of 15 people. Now, there is an upcharge for this. Now, if you pay it online, it's £6. Now, if you pay it at the booth, it's £7. So £1 difference. It makes no difference. And the show itself lasted about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, it does. And it is a good show. You know, from the set pieces, from when you first walk in, they got the actors already at the entrance, which is awesome. So you can say hello. And don't forget, it's a family, so they're not there to scare the bejesus out of your kids. They're there all friendly, smiley, talking to you. Absolutely love the atmosphere already. And as you're walking into there, there are plenty of seats. I don't know how many seats there are. However, though, there is something to eat in there, which was really, really good. Now, I wish I knew this before buying food, before I entered in there, because I would have bought something there. And they have hot dogs, you know, they have beverages, they have, you know, alcoholic drinks there. They've also, for the kids, they've got popcorn, candy floss. Everything is in this area. You've even got a woman with like masks, where you can buy masks there, or spinning plates. Also light up lights and swords and stuff, which we purchased. I think it was like £4 for the sword it was. Now, out of these 15 cast members, they do put this incredible show on. And now I think there's about 6. I think there's 6 kind of scenes what they do. Incredible, each and every one of them. You know, you got things like a woman on a rope doing some incredible stuff. They got this guy on this like 1-wheel bike. What's it called? You know what I'm on about. The bike thing. I'll put it on the screen. That's what I'm on about. He was amazing. He was. We've got people eating fire. You know, we've got a dog involved as well, which was incredible, with this witch, and she's cycling around with this dog in the basket, and I absolutely loved it. And the kids enjoyed it as well. It was good fun. 45 minutes as well. However, though, after 25 minutes, they do have like an interval, which is random, but I suppose that's your time to go and, you know, go to toilet if you need to, or I don't know, grab some food. So I can see why they do it, and no one really complained that much about it. I'm not complaining about it. I was kind of like, okay, 25 minutes in, fair dues, we'll go with it. Now, straight away, there is one particular bit, and I'm feared from it. I really am. I don't like knife throwing, and they had knife throwing in there, where they had this like doll, and they had the clown from It in there, and he was there kind of like hypnotizing this woman, and she was kind of like a doll, and she was holding these red balloons, and he was just throwing these knives. And then obviously, let's bump it up. Let's set fire to these bad boys. And he did. And it was amazing. It was a really, really good show. It's really good to see everyone's reaction, you know, and they got everyone involved in it all, even to the fact of they had like these 2, I don't know what they were, to be fair. I think one was one was a clown and one was some kind of, I don't know, it was dressed like with a mask, and they were both in this bed, and it was really weird. And they were like, the ghost was coming behind them and they were knocking each one out of the bed, and there was, it's behind you, that whole kind of theater acting. And I love stuff like that. I think it's all cheese on toast and I love it. And they were kind enough for me to actually go back in there and do some more filming. So thank you so much for you guys. You were so nice for doing that. And I definitely would recommend going to see Circus of Scream. If you can't see them as Circus of Scream during the Halloween period, they are known as the Wonder Circus. I'll leave all the links in the description below, so make sure you do check that out. So overall, Fantasy Island or Fear Island was very good. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I would definitely go back. Now, some people have said that they did it last year and it was a lot better last year. Now, a lot of these mazes are better last year than they are this year. There's too many restrictions. However, though, it is what it is. It's the world we live in, unfortunately, and we're just thankful that we do have horror mazes in 2020, because let's be honest, we didn't think it was going to happen. Thank you guys for watching this review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget you can follow us on our social medias on Instagram and Facebook. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe and hit that bell icon every time we upload a new video. You will be notified. Also, we'd like to have a discussion in our Discord, so make sure you do follow us on CoasterDan. So I'm Dan, and thank you for watching. Happy Halloween.